Lights. Hello, hello, hello. I'm very, very scared right now. But I do feel like a rock star with these blinding lights. On a scale from 1 to 10, how sleepy are you? Huh? From 1 to 10. 1 is like you're not sleepy, 10, I want my mom. I'm around 8, so it's been a rough 3 days already. So don't mind me if I stutter and everything like that. Uh, can we start? Yeah? There's this thing about, small companies that we don't have money and we still have cool things. So Isabella, I was talking to her and she said, like, do you want to, do something for Gala? And I was like, what could I say to Gala people? There's much bigger, much more complex companies than mine. But there was this idea in my mind back then that I need to do something around automation. So I pitched the idea and they said yes. I mean, the Gala said yes, and then I was like, oh my God, now I have to do it. That was a scary thing. So the truth, the plan was to start in November last year and to end in February this year, so 4 months of automation, to automate the most that I can, to take as much as time as I want, and not to go over the budget of $100. The reality is always different, right? I did start on schedule in November. The end was actually towards the beginning of April, mostly. Automation, semi-fail, it's not that easy when you start to do it, actually. As much time as I want, a disaster. I mean, you have to run your own company, you have to deal with like daily stuff, and then you have to do things that you've never done before. So that's like really, really crazy. But money-wise, it was a total win because I didn't really spend so much money as I wanted to. I'm going to show you, actually. In the meantime, spread some love. I asked ChatGPT to help me a little bit. I mean, I cannot do a session without saying something about AI, so that's probably the most. I wanted to do this Slido thing, but we can just raise hands. The companies, I want to know a little bit more about you. So your revenue, 0 to 5 million? All right. 5 to 50, like mid-sized? Okay. More than 50? Okay. Remind me, guys, to talk to you. The other one, how much non-linguistic tasks do you actually automate in your company? Again, like 0 to 25%? More than 25? More than 50? So yeah, there's obviously a thing that we want to do, and there's a path, right? Before we start, of course, why me and who am I? I started in 1998 in IBM in their localization department. This is like a mafia, you get into localization, you never go out. I'm not a linguist. I studied business and economy. I'm a regional LSP based in Budapest in Hungary. We do Central and Eastern European languages. I have a family. This is us in Turkey. for my 50th birthday this April. That's my daughter, she's 9. My wife, I'm not gonna disclose her age because it's unpolite. We also have a dog, like very Americanized dog, right? Goldie, she's crazy. Another girl, so I would grill almost anything. This is a lobster. Cost me like half of tuition that I wanted, but yeah, I mean, kids, they don't need to go to school, right? I listen to louder music than usual people do, and I'm big sucker for the Adriatic Sea. Mediterranean also okay, but I'm sorry, it's Adria. So, start with why. This is a, back to music, this is a Limp Bizkit song reference, not a Simon Sinek reference. How was it before and what is it now, right? In 2000, the client would say like, you know, here's a project, 150,000 words, do your best thing, give us back in 2 months, we're all good. Now, right? It's MTP, it's then revision, then we have our own QA tool, yours is not good, and then LSO, then we're gonna do LQA with a bunch of different people who don't know what they're doing. And then maybe you can do arbitration and, you know, implementing Clang requests and confirmations and, oh my God. And you're still being paid, right? For tea only, and you give a discount of 50%, right? Great stuff. Money is abundant. So we need to do something because I mean, why am I here? I don't like to pay for conferences. I would rather speak and then get a ticket, you know. Again, these are actually real numbers, but they're not in dollars, of course. What is happening? 2018, this is my company, right? 2018, we had 2,590 projects a year. 2023, we had 38,558. 58, Jesus. And the other one, right, is showing how much money do we make out of one project. It's not a really nice thing. It's exponential, it's a reverse exponential, it's a... So, what is happening is that if we stayed, you know, at the old level of how we do things, we would need two more people to handle all these projects. The reality is nobody can afford that. What is the general problem? These are our project managers. They look at that. They're overworked, they're tired, they're demotivated. There's a lot of back and forth. We think that we are cool, but in reality we are in a Groundhog Day clicking our life away every day. How much do we click? I'm very freakish about time. I did some calculations, so there are clients that needs, of course, everything needs to be in our system, right? So data entry. If you click 1 click, 2 seconds, 1 project, 30 clicks, and 120 seconds of data entry, right? To enter every, you know, instructions, etc., etc., etc. That's 15 hours of clicking per day. So what is the solution? Of course, my old good friend, well, this is what the ChatGPT thinks Schwarzenegger looks like, or looked like, right? It doesn't eat, it doesn't sleep, no coffee breaks, no paid leaves, no sick days. It's work, 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 work. So robots are going to rescue us until the batteries are drained. What do we automate with robots? Again, I'm kind of freakish about time. I'm also I think that we are in the people industry, not in the, you know, translation or localization industry. I think that we should talk more to people, and I want my project managers to talk to people, to clients, to create reports, to talk to freelancers, all the great colleagues that we have. For everything else, there's API, unless there isn't. When you can, you use the, you know, what we have. You use István's Be Lazy, you use Bruno's Blackbird, or you use the generic, you like Make.com, Zapier, etc. The real problem in the world is there's a big legacy world of non-API companies that, you know, use something that's kind of looks like it was done in 2001. For them, again, robots. Because, you know, if you have 300 projects per day, they will not accept themselves in legacy systems, and you don't have the money to afford all those clickings. What do you need to do to create this thing? I started like, okay, I'm going to need some tools, UI Vision, but I ended up with Power Automate, with ChatGPT, and with Mindy, which is an OCR processor. Very, very cool. There are also many other tools, but clearly out of my pay rate. I mean, Blue Prism, like $1,500 per month. So my obvious choice was Power Automate, and then I started thinking like, okay, what do we automate first? Well, first we automate the most annoying tasks, which is invoicing. I mean, I love invoicing. Actually, that's my favorite part of the month, but it takes a lot of time. And now that it's automated, I love it even more. So we have a client who says like, I'm going to send you one PO, and for every PO you have to send me one invoice. So if you have 4,000, you know, tasks per month, you have 4,000 POs. That's a lot. If you send that to your accounting team, they're going to bloody kill you, right? So in a way to avoid that, it's a bad joke with Fast and Furious. You have to automate. You have to start thinking like, how do we do that? How do we do those? We use those robots and automate the processes and put it into our system. How you do it? It's easy. You find a pattern, like what needs to be happening. You create a couple of first steps. You test it out. Obviously, it won't work. It never works. You go in the dark corner and cry a lot. And then you try again, and you rinse and repeat, and you do it, right? And then you succeed one day, and you go like, oh my God, okay, finally, yes, beer, go to sleep. How does it help? How does it help your company? So what is it that for us was working? Zero level, some simple Excel automation. There's some manual copy-paste involved. But then I asked ChatGPT to create macros. Of course, it didn't. Then I had to rewrite them. But you can click a button then in Excel that creates a ton of invoices, for example, for us, which are ready to upload. And that's a lot of time saver for us. Next is moving all of these like online and more streamlined. Second level, large client peer processing. I don't know if you guys work with, you know, the RWSs of the world. RWS sends you a lot of purchase orders. So we need to find out how to automate that. And this works automatically, so right? Based on email subject, it gets triggered. It marks the email read. It moves the email into the appropriate folder, saves the PDF file into SharePoint, sends the PDF to Mindy. Mindy does the OCR, and it gives you back, it gives you back the result that is put into an Excel online with some success or error messages in Teams. Pretty cool, right? And then we have the non-API magic, which is, I think I'm the most proud of that one. Works automatically. You can trigger it from Teams. You have a special channel in Teams. You send a special message, or it can be triggered by the email subject line. It starts a Power Automate Cloud, which calls Power Automate Desktop, that will mimic what you would do in a browser, like on your own, like clicking. That's the magic part. It parses the data, clicks on acceptance, etc., and returns the data and sends it through API into our business management system called Mini TPMS. So basically, project is accepted on the client side. Project is the data is on our side as well. Pretty awesome for us. What do you need for that? Time, money. It really helps if you have a lot of money. You need nerves of steel because nothing. I mean, Microsoft, it became really, really cool, but it's still very, very strange. You need nerves of steel because everything is an error, and then Google or Google is your friend. You need to think structurally, procedurally, and of course you need colleagues who understand that you might be going crazy because this is the only thing that you're talking about, right? But the fun part was I like quotes, but I'm always skeptical if it's really Bill Gates. I don't know. But the point is, you start, you don't give up. You just move forward and you push it through, and you'll get somewhere over time. These are the results. This is the fun part, right? So money spent total in this challenge is $215. My time, of course, I didn't calculate that here. My time was 92 hours. December, everybody just eats in December, right? It's Christmas. But I managed to automate like 22 hours of real work in these 4 months, or 5. ROI, we all like ROI and stuff like that. How much time do I save per month in legacy project acceptance, client invoicing, PO processing? So I did automate a little bit more, but these are the 3 biggest ones. And how much time do we need to get to zero, to the break-even point, right? We are already 4 months into this, so in May, I guess, it becomes kind of profitable, right? Time spent to development versus time saved per month. Very interesting, because as you do it, as you go and grow this thing in your head and you wrap your mind around it, you become faster, right? So, for example, you see the legacy. Of course, so that project acceptance is very complex, but the others are also kind of complex. But you learn more, you do it faster. So what is the next for us? The next is to try to automate a whole person. You have the calculation. Again, I'm kind of freakish about time and try to measure it. So the 120 hours, days per year would be really, really nice. How do we achieve that? Vendor invoice processing. I know that many TMS or business management systems, they have their own thing, but it's not really how it works in Hungary. So we need to see for compliance, we need to see if there's the right purchase order number, the right amount, stuff like that. Again, costs over there. I'm a big fan of fintech, Wise.com. Guys, if you don't use it, start using it. It's a beautiful thing, very, very fast. I hate banks. I hate politics, but the banks I hate even more. connecting fintech with Wise, like you click a button and it sends through API the money to the freelancer immediately. Why not, right? And then we have 2 more clients that we need to automate in purchase orders, invoicing, stuff like that. Again, I can't do a session without mentioning AI, so I wanted to do like, I need an AI assistant that will, confirm the task for the clients who always ask, can you please confirm? You send them a million times letters that, yes, we can do it always. You don't need to ask that, but they always ask. So yeah, help your clients, right? That's 50 more hours, and that's a lot of, time. One caveat for the AI thing, I would use something closed, right? Not put it to ChatGPT. I'm kind of freaked out about if I put stuff into ChatGPT, it will go somewhere. It will turn up on Google the next day. Show goes on. Right now we have 22.2 hours that we automated. The goal is to get to 72 and, grow from there. So was it worth it? I worked a lot, I think. Didn't see my family. Bunch of nice people. I cried a lot. I mean, there's a lot of things that you think how it would work, but it doesn't. It never does. So, swearing. Loud music also helps. I learned a lot. I really love that stuff. I like learning stuff. I like learning new stuff. I failed a lot. I failed proudly. I think we should all start that, unless it's, parachuting. You can only fail once at that. And I did accomplish something. So in my mind, it was absolutely worth it. Both money-wise, learning-wise, personally. It was, yeah. I mean, when you realize that you'd made it, you go like, yeah. So the takeaway, guys, if you don't do this, start now. Don't you cry tonight. Don't give up. Create a little bit of plan, because if you have a plan, it's much easier to succeed. And, in the immortal words of Ben Stiller, do it. Thank you for your time. These are my... This is also what ChatGPT thought was a good idea for Valencia and saying thank you. So that's not me, that's AI.